Hey, what is going on, everybody? Dr. Brandon Rosie here with Rosie Physiotherapy, and I wanted to take a little bit of time and discuss something that I end up having this question a couple times a week, and I figured let me just make a video about it and see if we can help some other individuals and kind of share the information. So what we've got here is I'm gonna shove us down to I got an email. Now I took out all of the pertinent information to kind of protect the privacy of the individual asking the question, and the question says this: Dr. Brandon, during the PRO workshop you talked about a rule of thumb about the amount of aerobic cardio exercise time that is needed weekly. The formula, of course, included your age and heart rate, but I don't remember the other variables. Weight, maybe, and I don't remember the actual formula. If you get a chance, can you jot down the formula? So I wanted to break this down very quickly. You're probably wondering, if you don't know, what is the PRO workshop? PRO stands for Parkinson's Resource Organization. I participate about once a month. I'm running a small exercise program for individuals that have Parkinson's disease, and this is to help keep them mobile, keep them active. And this happened to come from an individual from the PRO, or the Parkinson's Resource Organization, the workshop, the exercise program that I have been assisting in. If you have Parkinson's, or you know somebody with Parkinson's and you are not a part of this fantastic nonprofit, I highly suggest you get involved. It is completely free. If you want to donate, of course, that is your choice. I highly encourage it because it is a fantastic program. I get no monetary kickback or anything for saying this, but I would highly suggest you do join, because it is an amazing community, remarkable amount of resources that are available to you. You are not alone if you have this, or if you know someone with Parkinson's. So I do recommend you check that out. That is Parkinson's Resource Organization. You put it into any search engine of your choice, I promise you it'll be right there up at the top. So this was talking about it. So the question is about a rule of thumb for aerobic cardio exercise time is needed weekly. So the individual asked this question prior to the class, and I answered it right then and there live, which is that the American Heart Association, the American Medical Association recommends at least 150 minutes of cardiac activity exercise per week. 150 minutes per week. Now, some people like to break that up. I, however, like to run off the idea that if you're just doing 30-minute intervals, if that's all you can tolerate, then that is a good start. But eventually you want to work into 60 to 90 minutes per exercise, 60 to 90 minutes. And that does not mean if you have Parkinson's or not. Whether you have Parkinson's or whether you don't have Parkinson's, you're still a body, you're still a person, you still have a heart and lungs just like everyone else. And it doesn't get affected whether you have Parkinson's or not, your heart and lungs. And so you still need to exercise 60 to 90 minutes, 2 to 3 times per week is recommended. If you're at 90 minutes twice a week, that's 180 minutes. You're past that goal. If you do 60 minutes 3 times a week, that's 180 minutes. Again, you're past that goal. So that first answer, how much time is going to be, at least 150 minutes per week of cardiac aerobic activity. This could be swimming, walking, running, jogging, for anybody, and everybody is recommended. But then, of course, what is that rule of thumb? Now, I want to, the rule of thumb that I was talking about is, let's pull it over here and I will show you. So first and foremost, I should have said this a little bit earlier, but as a disclaimer, none of the information in this video should be construed or constructed as medical advice. Always consult your healthcare providers prior to initiating any exercise regimen, adjusting your regimen or routine. So the what you do to calculate your heart rate maximum. Now, I do want to preface and say that you can calculate your heart rate maximum in a variety of different ways. This is the most simplistic method. This is the simple method, and that is your heart rate maximum is going to be 220 minus your age. And whatever that number spits out, that is going to be your heart rate maximum. So let me pull a little calculator in here. And this is not to insult anyone's intelligence, but if you 220, and now we're going to subtract. So I click the little minus button over here. And let's say that you are 50 years old. So you are 50 years old right now. I'm going to click the equal sign. And that means your heart rate maximum is 170. That does not mean this is where you're trying to get your heart rate to be. That is how fast your heart should beat if it is at 100% capacity. Now, of course, there are individuals that are 50 years old and they get their heart rate above it, and that is okay. Don't freak out. But this is just a general overview, and if you stick to these goals, you're going to be in a very good shape. So again, just to pick a different number, 220, it's always 220. It doesn't matter your age, your gender, your race, nothing. It's just 220 minus your age. Let's say you are 25 years old, then it's going to be a little bit higher. Your heart rate maximum is going to be 195. So again, just whatever your age is, subtract the 2. So that is going to be the first step. So let me get that out. That is how you calculate what your maximum heart rate is. Now the question over here, so pulling in over here, the question is, I don't remember the other variables for calculating your heart rate. So let's go back over here. And so getting into the maximum, so we found that, but the question was with regards to how much should you exercise, that is based on your heart rate intensity. So it's 60 to 90 minutes, 2 to 3 times a week. So a total of 150 minutes per week preferred or more. Always okay to do more, expected and well respected to do more. But if you haven't gotten to 150, that is a great goal to achieve towards. So, but that is, we found our heart rate maximum. Now we have to find our heart rate intensity. Now, the American Heart Association, the American Medical Association recommends at least, bare minimum, at least 60% of that maximum. I would actually venture and say you want to be at least 70, and the goal would be between 70 and 85%. You want to get that heart working. You really want to challenge your system, but you don't want to overload that system. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring this over, and the way you're going to calculate it is you already have your heart rate maximum. We discussed that on the previous slide. But now you need to find out what that desired intensity is. Now, you can play with these numbers. I would definitely recommend, if you're new to exercising or if you have not exercised in a while, maybe COVID, the coronavirus has prevented you from exercising or participating in your regular activities, in which case just start slower. You can always build up intensity. It's much worse to start higher than you can and then be so sore that it ruins your next couple of days or makes you too tired to get out of bed or just participate in day-to-day life. But start slower. I'd say start at that 60%. And if you're very sedentary or you don't exercise at all, then maybe even start at 50%. But so we found our heart rate maximum. And so again, going back, 220 minus our age. Let's say you're 50 years old and you have a maximum heart rate of 170. So you're just going to memorize that number for a minute. So multiply that intensity by a percent. So if we want to multiply that by 70%, then we're just going to multiply it by 0.70. And that is, if you multiplied it by 1, that would be 100%. And if you multiplied it by, you can multiply it by 70 and then divide by 100. I'm just kind of skipping that step there. So multiply it by 70% in our case would be here. And the target goal would be to have your heart rate at least 119 beats per minute or higher. That would be the goal. So if you're 50 years old, you want to exercise at an intensity where your heart is above 119 and stays above 119 for the duration of that activity. If you are, just to go through a couple more examples, let's say that you are 220 minus, you are 70 years old. So that's a new one. I think that'll come out to about 150. Yep. So 150. So I just took 220 minus your age. If you're 70 years old, it'll be 150. And you want to exercise at 80%. So we're going to multiply that by 0.8 for 80%. And that means your heart rate intensity needs to be at or above 120 while you're exercising to get the maximum physiological benefits of that aerobic capacity, that aerobic activity. So that is it. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. And if this didn't make sense, just go ahead and watch the video another time or a couple more times. And if you still have questions, go ahead, ask away. And again, if you have any questions regarding this topic or any other topic, whether it has to deal with Parkinson's or anything physical therapy related or anything physical activity, exercise related, shoot me an email. My name is Dr. Brandon Rosie, but just shoot me an email at info@rosiephysiotherapy right here on the screen. I'm going to keep it up there for a minute. And if you can feel free to just pause the video if you want to write this down. But send us an email to this, and any questions you may have, I will answer them probably and most likely in the form of a video, as long as I legally can. Without violating any rules of my license. I will answer them in the form of a video. I will always protect your personal identifying information. None of that was shown here, as you could see, and I will do the same for you. But that way, because you're likely not alone. I've had that question that we discussed today. I've had that question several times per week. And so I figured, you know what, let me make a video and see if I can just help answer these questions for multiple people at once. So if you do have a question, just go ahead, shoot us an email right here. I will do my very best to get that video out to you as soon as possible. I will respond to your email privately, just you, and I will send you the link so that you know I have responded to your email. And again, no one else will know who it comes from, but just shoot me those emails, and I'm here to help in any way, shape, or form I can. If you have any questions, once again, don't hesitate to either reach out in the comments and again, shoot me those emails. Share this video if there's anybody that has benefited from this. Like the page. Definitely subscribe so you can be up to date with all the content that I release. And once again, thank you so much for watching. I will catch you all next time.